So why should people come here on a Sunday morning?
I think it's all about learning what we need in our life to find meaning in our life. Our life is so busy and active often that unless we take time out from our daily routine, from the busy workaday life, we get no sense or meaning of where our life's going. We get no sense of the trajectory that our life is taking.
I just find this church a really grounding, nourishing home. It always opens up its arms to you, and I just love the 360 kind of nature of this church and the welcoming universal nature of it. There's a lot of workshops you can go to these days that will kind of offer something like what you get here, but they always have a price tag. This is ongoing. This is a community that doesn't have a time period.
It's just a time during the week where you take yourself off from everyday activities. I think the Unitarian Church is the only one I could possibly join because it doesn't have a creed.
I think also benefit from the spiritual sort of top-up once a week. At the time when I first came, I'd been undergoing some kind of renaissance, a spiritual renewal, because I was spiritually bankrupt before that. But I find this church does not ask me to believe in anything, just asks me to do maybe a little bit. So it's a bit of coming to practice rather than to be told what to believe and be allowed to do my own research. And I do a lot of searching.
It's rather special here, but I can't believe how long it took me to find it. Even as a child, I could see the confusion in labels. The local vicar on a Sunday mounted the steps of the pulpit and pronounced anyone who wasn't Christian was at best doomed and at worst damned. So I took my questions to the vicar. He finished our conversation rather abruptly by saying, "Can't you just leave these difficult questions to God?" And I found that rather unsatisfactory. That really started a life of questioning our sort of social and religious intolerance of diversity. And when I came across the Unitarians, I simply couldn't believe it, because here I'm included.
Now, I'm a gay man, but I didn't accept it until I was 40. So I went through a lot of trouble, like Alan Turing did. But I was glad to find a church that was gay-friendly, and I wish people could be more open about it.
I've always had a kind of interest in a spiritual dimension to life, but I just couldn't really fit in with any mainstream religion that gave me a creed to believe in. I needed to think things for myself. I needed to work out my own answers. And I found, it's a surprise to me to find that there's a church that allowed you to do that. And that's the crucial thing for me. I think it's that freedom of belief and freedom to explore your own find your own spiritual meaning.
I feel that this is a place for spiritual nourishment, and I really love the way in which the addresses are put together, drawing from lots of spiritual practices and not particularly focusing on anything in particular. So for me it's like bringing together the best of all spiritual practices. It's spirituality without the dogma.